So we feel very confident that over the coming months that we will be able to secure the environmental permit approval from SEMARNAT. And we're taking steps, of course, to ensure that that is the case. We're actually dealing with SEMARNAT on the basis of making sure that it meets everybody's sustainability goals.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Kenneth McLeod. He is the CEO of Sonoro Gold Corp. And Ken, good to see you again. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Steve. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, well, you've got news out today talking about completing the acquisition of the Cerro Caliche project, these portions of it. And this is a pretty significant piece that you're talking about today, Ken.
Oh, absolutely. It's a major milestone for us. If you cast your mind back to 2018, when we signed up 5 different contracts to acquire what is close to 1,400 hectares in the Cerro Caliche area, this particular agreement, the first one we signed, it was designed so that by the time that we would reach year 4, that we would actually be in production. And that would have been the case if indeed we had received the approval for the environmental impact statement back in 2022, which we fully expected to. And we went through the process with SEMARNAT, the Mexican Environmental Agency, and we went through the question and answer period. So theoretically, by the end of 2022, we should have received the permit and we should have started construction at that time. And we'd be in production. We'd pay for the balance of the payments on both the Cerro Caliche property and the other properties out of cash flow. Well, as luck would have it, of course, the Mexican government at that time decided not to provide the approvals on open pit mining, and that is changing now, obviously, as we can tell. And so we had to figure out a way to make sure the property payments were kept alive and kept going. And we did that through a combination of smaller equity financings, but also significant loans from the insiders of the company in order for us to make sure that the property was protected. And that's what we've done. And we've well over $3 million of loans to the company to ensure that the properties were kept current. The balance of the property, which comprises about 400 hectares or thereabouts, of 460 hectares, will be paid on April the 1st of 2025. And we fully anticipate that, once again, we should be able to easily handle the final payment on that one as well. And that gives us the 100% control and ownership of the entire Cerro Caliche property and its environs.
Yeah. Let's update everyone where you are, because I know that you've got some next step that you talk about within there and what's going to happen. So it's obviously sitting around permits as well. That's the key thing here, right, Ken?
Everything is revolving around the environmental permit approval. And there is, of course, a sea change within the Mexican government under the new president, Claudia Sheinbaum. And we're seeing more and more of a rapprochement with the mining companies. We're seeing dialogue taking place that didn't happen in the previous 6 years. And so we feel very confident that over the coming months that we will be able to secure the environmental permit approval from SEMARNAT. And we're taking steps, of course, to ensure that that is the case. We're actually dealing with SEMARNAT on the basis of making sure that it meets everybody's sustainability goals. And of course, that is one of the features of our mine plan in the very first place, was to make sure that it met the highest standards of sustainability. And so we feel confident that 2025 will be a significant year for Cerro Caliche and for Sonoro as a whole.
Yeah, and if you're able to secure that permitting, you're still looking at about 12,000 tons per day for initial capacity there, and that will obviously get the cash flow going as well.
Yeah, well, that's always been the plan, of course, Steve. As you may recall in our earlier conversations, the idea was that we would drill enough resource to enable us to have a meaningful mine plan, which we would put into production, generate cash flow, and use the cash flow to do additional drilling. Now, keep in mind, we've only drilled and assayed approximately 30% of the known mineralized zones in the property. So that leaves 70% of mineralized zones that have been assayed at surface, but have not been drilled yet. And so we feel very confident that the regime that we put together for getting the project into production as soon as possible, and then using the cash flow to build it up. And the projected target for us is up to 2 million ounces. And so that wouldn't involve in the next 2 years of drilling, but we're very confident that the project can support that.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Key milestone for sure. Ken, thanks very much for the update. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. A delight talking to you.
All right. Ken MacLeod, the CEO of Sonoro Gold Corp.